Well, hello and welcome again. Thanks for joining us. Aaron felt that we needed a
YouTube channel profile picture.
A YouTube channel profile picture.
Get it together, Hal.
So I felt we would do something a little more artistic and make a composite of our heads with very low-key lighting. So that's what we're going to do for you. We're going to let you watch us put together our YouTube channel profile
Picture.
portrait. Okay, sure would be nice if I was more comfortable in front of this camera, but yeah, maybe one of these days I'll get there. Anyway, I decided we'd do that outdoors at night so that we didn't have any walls reflecting back on this very low-key portrait. I just thought it'd be easier, and since the camera has a hard time focusing in the dark, we are centered in this. It would have been better if we were a little off-center to make sure that we had room to put Aaron in there with me. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a little bit to my image size. So it says it's almost 19 inches. I'll just say 24 inches. Going to add black on the right side. So now we have plenty of room for Aaron, far more than enough. I won't even need that much. I just wanted to be sure that we had room for him. So we'll go over here to Aaron, and I think I will pick up, I want the quick selection tool. Since everything is so dark and black out there at night, I hope that this tool will be very quick for selecting Aaron out of this picture. And we will just drag him over there. Now, it appears that Aaron's head is a lot bigger than mine, probably just showing he's a lot smarter than me, so I really think I ought to reduce his head down a little bit. Well, what do you think, Aaron? Does that look all right?
We look the same. Okay.
I'll make you a pinch more important.
Well, thank you. I am in front of you, so technically in this picture I am in front of you, so does that mean we're going to change the name to Ingram and Brainerd?
No, that's why Brainerd's on the left.
Oh, okay.
Brainerd and Ingram.
But I wanted to be first.
Well, believe me, as old as I am, you're going to be first sooner than you realize. So we've opened up Vevasa, and I have an older program of Vevasa. It's Vevasa 2. I'm going to see if we can bring a little bit more light into Aaron's eye, which I don't think so, but the nice thing about Vevasa, if it's possible, it will do it in a much tinier spot than Photoshop will. And it truly is a tiny spot. In fact, it's so tiny we can't see what we're working on. And that's kind of a problem. So I've made it lighter in the shadows. I've given it a little more exposure. I've added some contrast, and it would be wonderful if I can see what I've done. So I'm going to click on the image. Oh, look at that. We now see his eye, evil eye, looking at us. I'm going to add a little more contrast to it, because it looks flat compared to what we had earlier. Huh. Well, that's just super duper. It's kind of like cheating and keep adding contrast because it just looked too flat. And does it look too fake?
Not as small as it's going to be. You really want to...
Oh, that you're absolutely right. It's going to be so tiny. Ooh, you almost have to open that up like that, or you're not going to see it. Well, we'll try the same thing on Mr. Brainerd over there. I don't think it's going to work as good on him because I'm already kind of in the light anyway. Aaron's in the dark.
I'm on the dark side.
Aaron's on the dark side. Yeah, we'll try. Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt at all.
The nice thing about Vevasa is that you can make all of your changes without going to different tools because they're all right there for you. So the very first thing you have after you select your new control spot, click on that, bring it over, click on it, and put your spot where you want it. You make that spot as small or as big as you want. But the unique thing about Vevasa, it likes to pick on the color, which really makes it a wonderful program. It's quite different than Photoshop. Let's say you have I love this example. Let's say you have a lake scene and a bunch of trees in the foreground that are silhouetted, so they're dark, and you've got the sky reflecting off this lake and it's real bright, and you want to darken the lake down, or maybe you just want to make more blue in the lake or something. You can put your spot on the sky or on the lake, on the water, and you can darken the water down. It's really not going to affect your trees. And if you want to make the water bluer, it's not going to affect your trees because the trees are totally different color. Let's say you have a red sports car in this picture. You want to make it more red. If it's the only red thing in the picture, it's only going to change that sports car more than anything else. If you have a brown barn over behind your sports car, well, brown does have some red in it, so it will affect that brown barn to some degree, not as much as the car. But so again, with your circle, you can circle just the red car if you want to. It's really a great program to have, and again, you can work in a much smaller area than you can possibly do with Photoshop. So I just think Vevasa is a wonderful program. I'm sorry, this is one of the older ones. Of course, you can get it for either Mac or Windows. So the first control controls the size of your circle. The second one controls the brightness. The next one is contrast, saturation, the structure, shadow adjustments, if you want to lighten up the shadows a little bit, or make them darker for that matter. Or you can change these colors with your red, green, and blue if you want to. Sometimes it's just easier to add warmth. So they have a setting just for adding warmth, which of course you can, if you add the warmth, you're adding warmth. If you take it away, you make it cooler. So then you have your red, which if you add red, you get red. If you take red away, you get cyan. It's a subtractive color process, as most are. You have your green. If you add green, you get green. If you take it away, you get magenta. You have the blue. So on the opposite of blue is yellow if you pull the blue away. And you have your hue is the very last thing. So you do all those things at one time, and then when you're happy with everything that you've done in the image, you click OK, and bingo, it's all done. I don't want to change the shadow side of Aaron here, but we can certainly show you what would happen if you want to get silly with it. And of course you can see what's happening to the shadow side as we make it lighter. I grabbed the wrong tool there. We can come right down to a very small point, and I think you can see how that affects the shadows. And of course we don't want to do that, so I'm going to come over here and hit the delete button and make that go away. There's another button that's really nice. If you're working on one area that's all this, basically the same color, you can come over here. Well, we'll just do it. I might give this guy red hair. He keeps swearing he's going to do some other kind of color on it.
I'm thinking about doing purple next.
Purple. Now purple is blue and red. Is that what purple is?
It is, at least in art.
Radiant light is different. Whoop. Well, I think the problem is that's blue. Well, that's kind of purple. I'd like to see it darker, so we have to darken it down.
Oh yeah.
Now again, as I was saying, it picks out a color, and there's a highlight right there on his hair. So, and if we hit saturation, that ought to, I was going the wrong way on saturation. Probably need more red. That's too blue. Are we getting there?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, that's a highlight on his hair. So it's affecting that area of his hair where you have the highlight. You would have to, if you duplicate that and then move it up to this darker area of his hair, you're not going to get the same response. It might get you started in the right area, but we'll probably have to add a little brightness to it. We can add a little contrast, making it really dark purple. And we can make another one, I guess, and bring it over here.
Oh yeah,
we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Got the idea? What color do you want your hair to be? It's a great way to test it out before you go get it done the real way and then decide you wish you hadn't done it that way. Yeah, that's a good way to do this. But I think I'll take that off.
Yeah.
You can hit the brush button if there's only a certain area that you wanted to have take effect. You can go back to Photoshop with a brush and brush in just those areas that you want it to affect. But we're happy with the way it is, so I'm just going to hit the OK button. And that will be its own layer in Photoshop. You know, Aaron's only 24, but he likes to stay up really late at night. So I think we should work on him just a tiny bit. Actually, that's not bad. That's really more of a shadow than a wrinkle. Then if I hit Shift, Command, and F, I can dial in as much or as little as I want. We can take it back to where it was at 0, or we can put in, it doesn't really need, I'll just put in 60%. That's not really a huge change. So you can see the now the before and the after here is not only Vevasa, but it's also just what I've done with that little bit of area there. For some reason, got some little white spot there, and I don't know. Got a few wrinkles right through there for some reason. Must be frowning too much.
Yeah.
I never knew him to frown much. Okay. And me, I'm not too picky about me. I know I'm old. But I am going to soften up my hair a little bit. At least smooth it out a little bit. Apparently I wasn't wearing enough hairspray that night, or the wind was blowing a little bit.
Well, the wind was blowing.
And you know, wind and hairspray doesn't work very good at all. And of course, you know, you all know this is going to be so tiny you can't see that stuff. But there is kind of a sharp edge on my hair. So if I get the blur tool and just go over the edge of that hair a little bit, it'll kind of make it look natural again, instead of having a hard edge there. Well, the image has been cropped, and we appreciate you joining us. Hope you got something out of this. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
You forgot to say subscribe and share.
No, that's your job.